Hey guys, so today in the Burning Heart contract, we are asked to surrender everything to God. And today being Shivaratri, where like the planets are all aligned in such a way that it's pulling all the waters of the earth right now, like in an upward fashion. And I guess like people in India, a lot of them have a set belief where they're supposed to stay up all night and like literally have their spine erect. And I was wanting to do that, but then at the same time I was like, well, if my body needs rest, I'm gonna just let it rest. And I want to say it was about 2 o'clock. My body's like, yo, Sam, let's get some sleep. Okay. But I wanted to try again, but in a different way today. And tonight I'm going to be surrendering fully to God and like literally staying up, talking with Him and praying and like reading His Word and thinking like, just being open to whatever it is that He has to say to me. Because I'm feeling like tons of energies right now. And these are extensive and expansive energies, so it's like really delicate, I feel like. The way in Leviticus today, this kind of kicked my butt. Leviticus 19:1 through 20:21. God calls us to be holy because we are holy. I don't know if that makes sense. We're already holy, but God is calling us to be holy. That just means to figure out what it is that He would like us to release, is what I'm feeling this means in my heart of hearts. He gives like a laundry list of things that you do and you don't do, I guess, to maintain holiness, rather than looking at it like, oh, why do I need to do all these things if I'm already holy? No, in order to maintain your holiness, these are requirements to either achieve said holiness, or even holiness is just something that doesn't need to be achieved, is what I'm seeing in this. And holiness calls us to be giving. Holiness calls us to be loving and supportive of the poor and the needy. Holiness calls us to have integrity whenever we see somebody living in a specific way that will harm them, because our actions actually harm the community. Like everything is everything, if everything is connected in unity. So I just keep coming back to the strawberry thing. Like if a strawberry rots in its basket, then all of the other strawberries surrounding that strawberry will in fact get infected with the rot as well. Fear is contagious. We are called to be holy, but it means out of fear. That means living brave and bold lives and speaking our wisdom that we know. Don't speak falsely. Don't twist justice. Don't do slanderings. You must be careful. I love this one. Verse 37, you must be careful to keep all of my decrees and regulations by putting them into practice. That means if we start practicing these decrees and regulations, they'll automatically come up. There's the same thing with holiness. So we just practice it. All it takes is just our little bit of effort, if that's what it is even. It's just like the release, or whatever it takes. And that's the kind of mentality that God has, is whatever it takes. That's the thing that with the Burning Heart contract, it is whatever it takes. Do you want this or do you not? And I'm having people like coming at me like, hey, I keep doing this. I'm like, look, if you're not serious about this, we can do this a different time, because I'm looking for committed people to be on my team. I'm looking for committed people to grow with and expand financially, and committed people. If this isn't for everybody. If you're ready, however, I am willing to help you out and guide you to how you can just become amazing in your finances and in your own life, your health and your sobriety, and just, I want to see you abundant. But I don't want to just keep wasting my time if you're not ready. That would be me wasting everybody else's time, just as a strawberry once again. My focus is on those who are willing, ready, and able to grow right now. And then it talks about the capital offenses. And then it goes into Mark. This is like, I guess it talks about mixing seeds even, how like, I know that like old Atlantis and stuff like that, the legends of Atlantis, whenever they would try to mix different breeds of animals and stuff like that, and made monstrosities because it never worked out. But then it's also a thing with clothing too. You don't mix polyester and cotton, I just saw, and I was like, oh. Unfortunately, I only wear cotton, but I'm like, I've noticed that they started making that, and I wonder if that is a thing. Either way, Mark 8:11-38. It's talking about when the Pharisees, as soon as the Pharisees heard that Jesus was coming, or that he had arrived, they came and started to argue with him. So then their hearts already closed off, and they were just wanting to waste his time. Testing him, they demanded he show him a miraculous sign to prove his authority. And that's the thing with people who are, if you're not ready, that's fine. Come at me a different time whenever you are. I'll be here. But I'm also, let me focus on what I'm doing because I'm trying to help people. And this is far more important than just wishy-washiness. When he heard this, he sighed deeply in his spirit. Why do these people keep demanding me a miraculous sign? And to tell you the truth, this generation, I will not give this generation any such sign. So he got back on the boat and he left them across the side of the lake. And then he talks about, watch out, beware the yeast of Pharisees and of Herod. And as his disciples began to argue with him in verse 16, why are you arguing about, because they didn't have any bread, and they forgot the bread, and how convenient, because literally just the day before, Jesus fed 4,000 people with 7 loaves, and then the day before that he fed 5,000 people with 12 loaves. So it isn't a thing of bread anymore, is it? Man shall not live by bread alone, right? He healed a blind man in Bethesda. Who do you say I am? Peter was saying yo, you're the Messiah. And then Peter also was telling Jesus, why you can't be speaking these things about your death. This isn't going to happen. And then even that, even though Peter knew he was the Messiah, Peter wasn't willing to let him go as the Messiah and to let him lead his life as the Messiah that he's called to lead. And therefore, Jesus is like, yo, get behind me, Satan, because you have no idea what God's plan is. And that's what Jesus truly was God's whole divine plan. If you hang on to your life, you will lose it in verse 35. Either way, in Psalm 42, 1-11, 1-11, I walked in the crowd of worshipers he's talking about praising God, knowing that he needs this water. He needs this living water. As a deer pants for the water, so my soul longs after you. He's searching for him, basically. While his enemies taunt him. In verse 4, my heart is breaking. I walk through the crowds of worshipers in him. And 3 times, why am I so discouraged? But also, 3 times, I will put my hope in God. No matter how discouraged you are, we know where to put our hope in. We know what works. If we know it works, then we will do it, as we must be holy in this sense. Oh my God, my rock, I cry in verse 9, why have you forgotten me? I must wander in grief, oppressed by my enemies. Their taunts break my bones, their scoffs, where is your God of yours? Why am I discouraged? In verse 11, why is my heart so sad? I will put my hope in God. He returns to the circle. He gets super duper depressed, all about him suddenly, and then he knows where to put his hope. Let me hold on. Perfect. So, the thing is, we do get depressed because life happens. God is always perfecting us. He's perfecting our bodies. He's perfecting our mind. He's perfecting our spirits and our peace in order to be utilized, in order to help others, as though, viruses and contagious and mildew and mold spread, so can healing, so can authenticity, so can the power of Christ, so can love. Love is far more contagious, is the thing, but it takes that one authentic person to carry it through to the other side for long enough in order for others to see it, in order for God to shed light on it, and for it to just blast and perpetuate. We will get discouraged. That's okay. The thing is, we know where to turn. I will put my hope in the Lord. No matter how many times it happens, because this has happened to me so many times, I'm like, oh, me, blah, 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 me, blah, 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 me, blah, blah, blah. And then wait, no, I will put my hope in the Lord, because I know that He is faithful, because I know that His plans are divine, because I know this in my heart already. Why am I looking other ways? Anybody relate to this? Anywho, in Proverbs 10:17, people who accept discipline are on the pathway to life, but those who ignore correction will go astray. That means even with appointed leaders, with leaders in your community, even leaders of your people you hang out with. We all need leaders. We all need coaches. Coach Michael Burt says that everybody needs a coach to shake your mind up, in order to get you to see things in a different way, in order to help you become more well-rounded, in order to find your boundaries. We all need these things. But whatever leaders, even the unchosen leaders, they are there for a reason. And Jesus was saying we must abide by their laws, as only if they abide underneath mine as well. Only abide by the laws that abide underneath mine, but then still abide by their laws too. So, as Christians, we got the double whammy, I guess. But that's okay, because we also get the double blessings. So just like with Elisha and Elisha. But that's it. I was having a difficult time doing all this today, and then I remembered, after reading this, you must be holy, that it's already done. I don't have to do anything. And then what is it? Oh, where's that scripture? Scripture of... What the heck? You must be careful to keep all of my decrees and regulations by putting them into practice. Just as David was saying, I will put my hope in the Lord. Putting hope in something is a practice. That is a step of faith, and that is an action. It takes action to do these things, to become one with Christ. It takes an action, whether through faith or hope. We know where to go. So either way, much love, one love. Thank y'all so much for joining me, and I will talk with you later. Bye, guys.